So we are here with Speedfreak. Introduce yourself and tell me what you do in the band.
What's up? I'm Kevin. I play guitar in Speedfreak.
Okay.
I'm Dave. I play drums. Speedfreak.
Okay. How did Speedfreak form?
So we...
and when?
2006 was probably the first time that the singer Tom and I got together and started jamming. Yeah, we just kind of been buds and just been playing since then.
When you formed the band, what ideas did you have in mind?
I mean, not too different from what you're seeing now. We wanted to play rock and roll. We wanted to play music that we like, you know. Yeah, I mean, in high school we listened to a bunch of Zeppelin and Sabbath and Motley Crue and AC/DC and Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, and same bands that everybody listens to probably. We thought, this is awesome. Let's fucking do this, you know. So that's kind of where it came from.
Dave, what made you join this band? I mean, you've been in a lot of bands. What makes this different?
Well, these guys, so Kevin and Tom have had this band since, like he said, since they were young, and it's been going on for a long time. I met Kevin, well, I actually met him before, but he ended up working the door at Livewire, and these guys, you guys had a show, and there was a drummer problem, and they were going to have to cancel the show. Yep. And I offered my services. I was like, oh, because they would always have a bunch of people show up. We have a good night at the bar, and like, man, we can't cancel this show. It's going to be a good night. So I offered my drumming services, and eventually it worked out where they took me up on the offer. And I don't know. I mean, here we are, like
just
almost 5 years later.
Yep. Yeah.
Something like that.
Dave, you've been in plenty of other bands before. What makes this one so special?
When I heard them, they would play at the club that I own and run, Livewire. I don't know if I plugged that earlier. Livewire, Chicago. No,
come and drink.
Yeah, but like, I would hear them play, and I heard there were a few of the songs. I'm like, these songs are really good, actually, and it's great riffs, and just really cool rock and roll, not taking themselves too seriously, which at this point in my life I can't take anything I'm doing too seriously either, and it was just a good fit. I was semi-retired from playing in original bands, and these guys got me back out, so
we're happy we did. First round draft pick.
You've mentioned a lot of classic influences. How would you describe the band's music with those influences in mind? Like, what comes out?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, like most guitar players, probably 99% of guitar players, you start learning to play blues scales. And then you do that for a while, and you're like, oh, this is power chords. And then all of a sudden you can think, like, you know what, I can make riffs. This is how AC/DC does it, you know? So I would say that those influences influenced my playing by, like, I'd sit at home at my parents' house when I was in high school and fucking play guitar along to the CD player and try and match the sounds that were coming out. And just kind of just where it led to.
Why the name Speedfreak? Where'd that come from?
So, in 2006, my friends and I, we would always go and see a bunch of local bands play. We loved going to shows. And so we were going to play at some club, and they were like, hey, they had seen us around. We had long hair. They're like, yeah, you guys in a band? And we're like, yeah, sure. And like, you guys want to play, in a couple of weeks? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, what's the name of your band? And our old bass player was wearing a Motorhead t-shirt. So at this point, we didn't have a band, but we kind of looked at his t-shirt and we were like, oh, Speedfreak, that's what we're called. Go ahead and write that down. And it just stuck.
Cool. What were your early shows like?
Oh, our first show, that show that we played after we booked that was at Ye Olde Town Inn, Yodi in Mount Prospect. R.I.P. Yodi. It was awful. We played 4 songs, 'cause that's all we knew. I think we played Breaking the Law by Judas Priest. That was one of our covers. And then it ended, and everybody was kind of silent, and I'm like, these guys serious? Or like, is this a show? Are they warming up? And at the time, Tom and I were barely been on stage where, we hide behind our instruments and microphones and stuff. Our early shows were horrendous. So thank you to everybody that came out and saw them. Yeah, but after a while, as we got a little older and kept doing it, you get more comfortable, and we started having a lot more fun.
No applause. That means they were just so blown away they couldn't respond.
Yeah.
Dave, how did you find yourself within the context of this band?
As far as what?
You're drumming. I mean, you've been an established drummer. How do you adjust your style to what these guys are doing?
It's all rock and roll, like, which is really, like, for me, you know, it's just really, just keep it simple. You know, the whole philosophy is just keep it simple, just simple rock and roll. It's played a little bit heavier than, you know, your normal rock, but it's at the end of the day, it's just rock and roll with some just, you know, heavy beats, chunky riffs, and it's just fun, you know. Like the last thing I wanted to do was, you know, if I was going to be in another band before I joined up with these guys, I didn't want to be in a band where everybody took themselves so seriously. It's like with these, you know, with this band, the music's fun, the songs are just about partying, having a good time, you know, just doing wild shit, and that's pretty much how I live my life. And
Yeah.
so it kind of fits.
Absolutely.
Speaking of having fun, can you explain the outfit you have on you right now?
I saw that. I was like, "What the fuck?"
You might want to stand up so people can do the whole thing.
This is a tracksuit.
Yeah, there you go.
I just bought this a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. It's
I bought it for a friend of mine, a buddy's bachelor party. You know, we all wore them as goofs when we went out. So I just had it sitting in the closet, and I thought, you know what, like tonight's supposed to be for fun. Let's have a party. Fuck it, I'll wear this for a while. It'll get people's attention, you know. It is very comfortable.
Yeah, there you go.
After 30 years of wearing skin-tight jeans, as we all do, you know, but this is not bad. I got plenty of leg room.
very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's festive.
Yeah.
But when things got a little bit serious when it came to writing songs, when did it actually kind of pick up, like moving away from covers to originals?
So, you know, this is, Tom and I definitely, as we got a little older, we started writing our own songs. And I would say, you know, and we just kind of started about, you know, this is very cliche to say, but we'd like write about what we know, you know, and we would write about partying and girls and cars and shit like that, which I guess is still what we write about.
Hey, look, it's Morgan.
Yeah.
Hi, Morgan.
What's up, brother?
Oh, just hanging titties, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, as far as songwriting goes, you know, most of the time it's an idea or like a lyric melody or a riff that Tom and I will have, and we'll, you know, usually meet up just the two of us and kind of arrange it, and then bring it to the other guys in the band. And where Dave, he didn't mention this because he's very humble, but where he's awesome in the songwriting process is arranging. He'll be like, hey man, that's a cool riff, but it should maybe be the chorus and not the verse, or why don't you take half of that riff and play it, you know, in double time, and we'll move it to the front of the song, stuff like that. So like he said, you know, we obviously don't take ourselves very seriously, but I would say we do take our craft kind of seriously. Like we...
The songwriting, you know, it's pretty, it goes through a pretty big series of filters before we finally decide if something's going to be a keeper or not.
Definitely.
I think. But,
and we do, and, you know, and we rehearse. We run these songs over and over again. Like
How often do you play when you rehearse?
Oh, I mean,
every week.
yeah, every week, a couple times a week.
Now today is your record release party.
Yes.
So there's obviously a record. Tell me how this came to be.
So Fast Lane Livin is a record that we started working on forever ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 2017, 2018, we started demoing the songs. Some of the songs have been in the band since before Dave joined. And we actually recorded most of them, yeah. And we recorded them all with Andy Legis in 2019. And then we had planned on doing this years ago, and then obviously 2020 happened and COVID struck and everything shut down. So,
yeah, the record was ready. It was mastered and ready to put out.
We've been sitting on it for years.
And then everything shut down. I mean, we're literally getting ready to do exactly what we're doing tonight and put it out. Everything shut down, and we decided, since we can't play any shows or do anything, then, you know, just to wait. And it ended up being waiting longer than expected, but thankfully things are open back up now, and we'll be able to play some shows and get out there and try and actually, you know, play this record for everybody.
Yep.
So what should the unsuspecting audience get ready for when that album really hits the streets?
It's just fun party rock and roll.
Fucking gut punch of fucking rock and roll riffage.
Yeah, we're definitely not reinventing the wheel, but we're strapping it to a fucking 5,000-pound muscle car, and burning it down the street.
Double bass, drums, fucking cowbell. Like it's
Speaking
it's all
of
in there.
cowbell,
Yeah.
I had some reservations about the last show that as much as there was some cowbell, I could have used tiny bit more.
I think I have 3 tonight. I think we're gonna up the ante and have 3 cowbells tonight. So yeah, that should hopefully tickle your funny bone.
Will Christopher Walken be making an appearance to approve?
He just might.
You might.
Just might. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he shows up.
I put in a request for more amount of cowbell. All right, getting back to more serious questions. Who's releasing this album for you?
We are. We're doing it independently.
Self-released. Shopped it out to a couple, only a couple. The apparently the fine folks over at I think Century Media liked it, but didn't love it. But maybe if they listen to it a few more times, maybe they'll love it. So listen to it a few more times if you get it.
Listen to it in the car while you're driving. This is a record meant to be played in the car with the windows down while you're cruising.
Yeah, we haven't.
If you drove backwards and listened to it?
I mean, just at your own risk. You got the old hand behind the seat, but
as long as you're smoking the tires.
Yep.
Either way is good. But yeah, we didn't really, we didn't submit it to too many labels. It's just been, everything's so weird now. It doesn't really even seem like there are any labels, It's just so we figured, hey, we'll just throw it out there. If somebody else wants to give it an extra push with us, if somebody likes it, that's great. If not, it's there for everybody to listen, and we're going to promote it ourselves. So,
Are you getting any initial feedback from the record?
I mean, what we've been hearing, people like it.
Well, it just came out today. So nobody's really heard. I mean, like our close friends have heard it. Some of a few of the industry people we know have heard it. Everybody seems to dig it. It's a great record for the summer.
Yep.
And so that's another reason why we kind of waited. We wanted to put it out to where once summertime hits, then it'll be, hopefully some people will be listening to it by then, because it's a great summer, windows down, hanging at the beach, at the pool. It's a good party record.
Yep.
So what are your expectations out of this album, finally?
I mean, part of me is
hopefully gold.
Yeah.
Maybe platinum.
$1 million. I'd like to call my boss, tell him I quit.
You have some walls for records to be hanged.
A Grammy nomination maybe.
That's right.
Honestly, at this point, it just feels so good to finally get it out. Because like Dave said, we've been sitting on this record for 2 years. So we're so happy that we finally get to share with our friends and our fans and get it out there for people to listen to.
So check it out. Fast Lane Livin.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.